CIS has a rich history. Unfortunately, that history has been lost to time. Until now. This is the CIS Story. CIS has been around since the very beginning of Dr. Phillips High School.
So the county came up with this idea because we were starting a new high school and they wanted to have a new program for it. So they came up with this idea, and it was really the brainchild of Dr. Ron Bryant and Jesse Heasley. And they were county level advisors for social studies and for foreign language, world languages. So they decided we'd kind of combine those two things with an emphasis also on law and international business and things like that, and create an international program, especially since Orlando was becoming so international at the time.
Okay, so CIS has had a few directors. When I became a student in CIS, Miss Karen Smith was the director at the time. She was the director for the entire time. Mr. Barrows was a CIS teacher who taught Asian humanities back then and English, and he ended up becoming the new director. Mr. Barrows really brought the elite part of CIS in, made it a program that the world recognized and colleges recognized. Miss Wilson continued that trend as well. Miss Wilson taught the U.S. history classes. And so every year I would always do the freshman event and she would do the junior CIS event. She was the junior class CIS sponsor. So we worked together in that way, but we also did field trips together and we traveled a little bit together.
In 2020, Miss Wilson announced that she was moving to Lake Buena Vista High School, and then Principal Dr. Knight was looking for a successor.
Dr. Knight had asked me, I think it was 4 times, because I kept saying no. I have 4 children, I was working on my PhD, I was like, there's no way I could take on being director. And then, I found out that they were thinking of dismantling the program if there wasn't going to be somebody that knew and understood the history of CIS that could take over. So I went ahead and told Dr. Knight I would give it a shot for a year.
So in 2021, Ms. Patel started as the director of CIS.
I came in, it was more like, well, International Council should be for anyone who wants to help build a program. So we have up to 60 people. There's still some areas that need to grow. Having 60 people in a group is hard to manage.
I don't see a super big shift. I think they've got a little bit more identity with all the shirts. We had t-shirts and stuff, but I don't think we were as visible as they are now.
Favorite part about CIS is really not being a leader to students who are looking for direction, but pushing students to initiate and be leaders themselves. I have had the honor to see students go from 9th grade to 12th grade, figure out who they are, figure out how to speak up, how to get what they want. I have got students who sort of hesitated or thought, well, I didn't get selected for this. And it was like, so what? If you didn't get selected for it, don't take no for an answer. Just go and do it anyway. And people will see that you should have been selected for it. Things like that, that every student has a strength. And so using that strength in a way that they could contribute to the program, that was a blessing. And then students who had weak areas, making it a safe environment for them to come and say, I don't like public speaking, but I want to help recruit and I'm willing to put myself out there. That was really special to me too. And I think something that I am proud of is that I think I did bring some heart back into CIS, that it's not just a rigorous academic program, but it's also a place for everyone to belong and celebrate who they are, including our teachers. I think Mr. Hunt is one of those teachers that I love sharing his story too, because he taught, students with a really tough background, and he too was always a little awkward growing up, and I think he found a place in CIS where students understood his humor most of the time, and that he also had this family here that was accepting.
So what is the CIS story? It's a story of belonging and growth. It's finding your talents and growing as a person to use them to be an upstander. Who's your favorite CIS TV kid?
Well, that would have to be
JR. JR is my favorite CIS TV kid. He doesn't have the word no in his vocabulary. He's always willing to try. He takes my feedback, and so yeah, I couldn't ask for a better student.
That is an incorrect answer. It's Michelle.